Further, Mahamate, the thesis that all things are unborn is not to be maintained by the bodhisattva Mahasattva is valid. Why? Of this thesis it is to be stated that anything of which something is asserted partakes thereby of the nature of being, and the reason for this thesis is characterized with the quality of birth. While it is being asserted by the bodhisattva Mahasattva that all things are unborn, the very assertion destroys his thesis. The thesis that all things are unborn acts against the one who holds it, because it is born of the principle of mutuality. Even when this thesis of no birth is to be maintained within the extent of existence itself, the notion of no birth cannot hold itself in it, and the thesis that all things are unborn is destroyed, since it is dependent on the members of the syllogism. As regards the thesis maintaining the no birth of being and non-being, Mahamate, this thesis, to be valid, must be within the limits of existence itself. But there is no aspect of existence which can be regarded either as being or as non-being. If, Mahamate, the no birth of all things is to be asserted by this thesis of no birth, the very attempt defeats the thesis itself. Therefore, this thesis is not to be upheld. Because many faults come out in connection with the members of the syllogism, and because in these syllogistic members there is a mutually mixing up of reasons, this thesis is not to be upheld. As with the thesis that all things are unborn, so with the thesis that all things are empty and have no self-nature. Neither is to be maintained by the bodhisattva Mahasattva. But, Mahamate, this is to be pointed out by the bodhisattva Mahasattva, that things in their self-nature are like Maya, like a dream, for they are in one way perceived as existing, and in another way are not perceived as such, and all things are thus seen in two ways, in accordance either with knowledge or ignorance. Let it be pointed out that all things are like Maya and a dream, except when the feeling of fear is aroused in the minds of the ignorant. Mahamate, the ignorant and the simple-minded are addicted to the views of being and non-being, and are liable to tremble at our teaching. Mahamate, let them not be frightened away from the Mahayana. So it is said, there is no self-nature, no thought construction, no reality, no alaya vijnana. These, indeed, are so many discriminations cherished by the ignorant who, like a corpse, are bad logicians. All things are unborn. This thesis is established by all the philosophers, but nothing whatever is ever born. No establishment is needed. Things are all linked by causation. All things are unborn. No such discrimination is made by transcendental knowledge. When a certain conclusion is made depending on a cause, there is no sound judgment in it. As a hairnet is what is wrongly perceived by those who are dim-eyed, so existence discriminated as real is due to the wrong discrimination of the ignorant. The triple world is no more than thought construction. There is no reality in its self-nature. By means of this thought-constructed reality, logicians go on discriminating. Individual form, reality, thought construction. These are only a mental disturbance. Transcending all this, my sons and daughters will walk where there is no discrimination. As a mirage in the air, the thought of water is cherished where there is no water. So things are seen by the ignorant, otherwise than by the wise. The insight of the wise, who move about in the realm of imagelessness, is pure, is born of the triple emancipation, is released from birth and destruction. Where all things are wiped away, even a state of imagelessness ceases to exist for the yogins. In the sameness of existence and non-existence, the fruit of wisdom is born to the wise. How does the sameness take place? When the mind fails to understand the truth, there is disturbance inside, and outside, and in the middle. With the cessation of the disturbance, the mind sees the sameness.